Marine Le Pen is back in the headlines yesterday, flanked by Italy's Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini. The pair set out their joint front against Brussels. They said the upcoming European elections would be a revolution.
Or, nous sommes aujourd'hui à un moment historique. C'est l'histoire avec un grand H qui va s'écrire au mois de mai prochain. C'est l'émergence d'une Europe des nations, d'une Europe du respect, d'une Europe des protections, c'est-à-dire celle pour laquelle nous nous battons depuis de nombreuses années, notamment avec Matteo Salvini.
I nemici dell'Europa sono coloro che sono asserragliati nel bunker di Bruxelles. I nemici dell'Europa, dei popoli europei, della felicità dei popoli europei sono quegli Juncker, quei moscovici che hanno portato precarietà e paura in Europa e si rifiutano di mollare la poltrona. Stiamo lavorando per restituire il futuro a 500 milioni di cittadini europei, francesi e italiani in primis.
I'm joined by Darren McCaffrey, our political editor at Euronews, Nina Schick, she's back, Director of Data and Polling at Rasmussen Global, and Marco Affronte, an Italian MEP with the Greens. Nina, I'll start with you because you did work on Macron's campaign, I believe, right? So now, a comeback for Marine Le Pen, and what would that mean for Macron?
I think Macron inevitably was facing an uphill struggle because, you know, he swept the Elysee on this promise of hope and change, much like Obama. So his task, you know, what he had to deliver was, first of all, not deliverable for one man and one government. So he's already fighting a losing tide with that. And second, the problem is that a lot of the big reforms he envisaged when it came to Eurozone reform didn't happen because Germany was not in the right place, the EU was not in the right place. So it's very easy for his political enemies.
So it's perfect for Le Pen again.
Of course it's perfect for Le Pen, but interestingly, I think, as somebody who's analysing how Russia is, what they're doing against the West, this is almost a tactic out of Russia's playbook. So if your politics has no hope for the future, you need to create an enemy. And where Russia did that for the West, the populist parties are, of course, doing that to the EU. Of course, the EU has inefficiencies. Of course, the EU as a body and an institutional body can be improved. But to blame the EU for all of a country's woes, like Marine Le Pen or Salvini are doing, is just
But isn't part of the problem, though, Macron has not helped himself? I mean, newspapers are now doing the top 9 Macron gaffes.
I mean, yeah, undeniably, I'm not saying that Macron's had a great time. And, I mean, he does seem to be... His pomposity, shall we say, does not seem to help him, whether... but, I mean, what I'm saying is that he was facing an uphill battle. Circumstances in the EU did not go in his favour. And finally, let's not forget that every French president, after a while, starts to become unpopular.
Seems like
Did you say strikes in France? Oh, never heard of that.
And, you know, what's interesting, you say that this is an opportunity for those who are pushing a populist agenda. But then here we saw Marine Le Pen distancing herself from Steve Bannon, who wants to unite, you know, populist groups, in front of Salvini. I mean, they're not looking very united, are they? I mean...
No, they are trying to build something, I think, but they are not a very clear plan. They are not something in mind that is a real construction of a future for Europe. As Salvini said, we are working for the future of Europe.
Do you think he will align with Steve Bannon?
Sorry?
Do you think Salvini will align with Steve Bannon?
It's always difficult to say what is thinking Salvini. I don't know. If we see some kind of payback in this alliance, he can do it. But at the moment, I don't think it's an option. But I don't know. Really, it's difficult also for me. I am Italian, as Salvini, to understand what is in the mind of Salvini.
Yeah, I find that interesting. What game do you think Le Pen is playing by distancing herself?
Well, you could say in some ways it's quite ironic that you know, nationalists across Europe are trying to unite on a European level to take on Europe. I think in part they do kind of need to organise, and Le Pen is right in the sense that the next year's elections are going to be crucial, these European elections. Clearly, populists across Europe see this as a chance to essentially get inside the beast of the European Union and try and destroy it from within. But Bannon, in her mind, isn't part of that because he's American. He's not French.
Well, that is a good reason, I suppose.